All right, I can see that 20 participants so far. I think that it's okay to start right now. All right, we are talking about the assignments. I'm going to demonstrate maybe some solutions for the assignments, assignments 4 to assignments 8. And the easiest part is the assignment 4. It's just the simple calculations with the one line. In the first task of problem 1, we just place those interest rates like 5% and 10% in the equation above. So if 5%, then we calculate the money demand equals 18,000, 10% it equals to 15,000, just simple implementation of the value. We place these values over here. Next, we have explain how the interest rates affects money demand. Money demand decreases when the interest rate go up, because bonds which pay interest become more attractive than money which pays little or no interest. We are talking about the simple economy, and the simple economy contains only money and bonds. So in this type of economy, money pay no interest, bonds pay interest, so that money which pays no interest, they are less attractive than bonds. That's it. The C and D is the answer is inside the same kind of notation. When the yearly income reduced by 50%, demand for money falls by 50%. That's it doesn't depend on the interest rates at all. Then in the last part, summarize the effects of income on money demand. 1%, if we, let's say that we increase a 1% increase in income, it leads to a 1% increase in money demand. So this effect is independent of interest rate. The same kind of effect, if something decreases, let's say 1% decrease in income, it also leads to 1% decrease in money demand. So the effect is straightforward. Next, our problem 2. Okay, derive the demand for bonds. Suppose that the interest rate increases by 10%. Okay, so the demand for bonds is the difference which is given over here. We have this 50,000, we have this 60,000. So the difference we place to the left-hand side of the difference we place over here of the 50 minus 60,000 times 0.35 minus I. And then we have these interest rate increases by 10 percentage points. So here the bond demands will increase by 6,000, I guess. Okay, next number B. What are effects of an increase in wealth? Okay, what is the increase in wealth? An increase in wealth increases bond demand. It also, if the wealth is greater, it becomes greater, it does not affect on a money demand, which depends on income. So sometimes it is called like the proxy for transactions demand. So once again, an increase in wealth increases bond demand, but has no effect on money demand. Okay. Money demand, just the income increases, money demand increases. That's it. Then number C. What are the effects of an increase in income on her demand for money and her demand for bonds? Again, this is the same kind of answer, but just we rephrase. We increase income, it increases money demand. Money demand increases, bond demand decreases. everything is pretty straightforward. We, of course, we assume that the wealth is constant. So using this condition, increase in money demand brings the demand for bonds down. And the last one here in practice 4, when people earn more money, they obviously will hold more bonds. Maybe it's not this correct. Maybe we have to exchange this, how to say, money for income, because money is just the colloquial. Income should be substituted for money. Then if we substitute that, when people have more income, they obviously will hold more bonds. Is it true or not? People earn more income, their wealth does not change right away, and they increase their demand for money, and they decrease their demand for bonds. So this is the answer. They increase demand for money, they decrease demand for bonds. Because of this, how to say, short run preposition in the whole practices 3, 4, and so on. We talking about the short term. May I ask you, what is the period of short term in the economics? Is what is the period of short term? Please answer in chat. Anyone? Yeah, 1 year. Any other? Waiting for 5 more seconds. Any other answers? 4, 5. Okay, so the Alan is correct with the 1 year. Mostly we can consider the period slightly larger. Actually, we can consider the period of up to 3 years, and it also will be considering the short term in the economics. The short run. So short run is up to 3 years. Then there is the medium run. And medium run is about a decade of the economics. So 10 years up to 15 years, this is the medium run. And the long run is several decades. So 20, 30, 50. Generally, the long run is the 50 years considered as standard, but it also can be considered as the life of a generation. So once you are born up until you will have your own kids, and these kids will grow up and start enter the workforce at the age of 16. So this period from your birth to your kids reach 16 years of age, this is the consideration of the generation. So this generation is about the long run. What are we talking about? Why it is necessary for us to understand? Because the dependency of what will happen in the economics, it depends on the period we are talking about. So in the short run, as we see, everything is because of demand, money demand, and money demand drives the economics. So we change our wealth, we change our perception of money, we start to spend more, and that's what drives the economics in the short run. In the medium run, the conditions are quite different. Maybe you can write what will be the conditions for the medium run. What determines economic growth in the medium run? Anyone, please write in chat. the consumption. Okay, any others? Nazarene, what do you think? What is the medium run? What drives the economics in the medium run? Now we have talked about that in, I guess, week 2 or week 3. Week 2. These are the slides for week 2. You can see that there are in the end, I think we included that. In the medium run, determined by supply factors. Short run, demand factors. Medium run, supply factors. Okay, you have to, this is like the prerequisite, you have to know it by heart. This condition, if anyone asks what will happen with the economics, the first question you have to ask in case of macroeconomics, on what period of time? In the short run, medium run, or long run? And then in the short run, everything is constant except for money demand. Other variables, they are changing, but they changes really small, and these small changes doesn't affect that much. But as the time passes, these small changes, they accumulate, and then they are allowing the something to happen with the economics to influence the economic growth. So if you increase the supply in the medium run, it will take into account. So they producers, so in the economy, they will adopt to that. They will open their businesses, they will start production, and then they will satisfy this demand with the supply. Is it fast or not? It depends. But when we are talking about the long run in economics, like several decades, we again once you have kids, you will decide of what they will learn, how they will learn, what the profession they are going to have in the decade, and so this is the prerequisite. So the economy should know what will happen like in 50 years, in 30 years, what will happen in this time period, and they have to adopt the system of education. They have to implement new technologies in education and the professions. They will try to implement like robotics or something. This changes the whole industry. Like yesterday we had the conversation about how the robots can change the industry of tourism and hospitality. So these are the combination of partially robots and partially humans. So especially for those the disabled humans, they are allowed to work using those robots. They can serve people by staying maybe 1,000 kilometers away. And this is wonderful. This is what cannot be predicted like several decades ago. But about a decade ago, everything started to be predictable, and the system of education were changing to implement those new technologies. And now we are talking about your own kids, which will enter the workforce in like 20, 30 years. Then we have to know what will happen in the economics, and we have to develop these conditions for the growth. This is the quality of government and so on. This is what we, for us, we cannot influence it directly, but all the population, everyone, we can modify this in our favor. Okay, so any questions here? According to assignment 4, I think everything is straightforward. So if that's okay, then we can move assignment 5. So what is happening in the assignment 5? This is generally like same kind of calculations for those who entered the mathematics class last semester. This is pretty much the same, but here it's a little bit easier. Derive the IS relation. We were talking about the investment equals saving relation. This is again short run. And so we have to consider the main function in the economics. So GDP, C plus I plus G plus net export. So the output of the economics is the consumption plus investment plus government spending plus a net export. Net export, that means exports minus imports. So using this standard equation, we try to calculate calculate the IS relation. What does it mean? So our initial condition will be y equals c plus I plus g. That means we will use c as 200 plus 0.25. This is the our c condition. Then I is given like that, g is given like that. And when we combine those three terms, we add them up, we will have y equals 1100 minus 2000 I, and this is the equation left side with y and everything else to the right hand side. So 1100 minus 2000 I, this is the answer for the first question. Then the central bank sets the interest rate. How is that decision represents in the equation? So we have to substitute the interest rate, this small value y, small value I, with 5%. 5%, this means 0.05. So we have already obtained the equation 1100 minus 2000 times I. So this times I changes, and y, our output is 1000 in this case. Number C. Number C. What is the we okay, we have to reconnect because we have like the time limit of 40 minutes. We will reconnect in 9 minutes. Okay, we have like a remaining meeting time of 9 minutes. All right, so number C. What is the level of real money supply when the interest rate is 5%? Okay, we have to substitute both equilibrium income of 1000 and the interest rate of 5% into the right-hand side of the real money demand expression. So real money demand expression is given over here, money or prices. Y is 1000, so this will be 2000 minus 0.005 times 8000, so everything on the right hand side is 1600. Okay, next D, we solve for the equilibrium values of C and I. Equilibrium values of C and I will be here will be 400, I will be 350, G is given, and C plus I plus G should end up once again to 1000. So this is like the check, correctness check. 400, 350, and 250 should end up with 1000. All right, and the question number E. Question number E. So we have the, okay, so what is happening here? The central bank cuts the interest rate to 3%. How does this exchange the LM curve? So we have just to recalculate everything with the new interest rate, and our recalculation should end up with Y, the output level of 1040, 1040, and corresponding C will be 410, and the corresponding I will be 380. So you can check that. The reduction in the interest rates increases output and the consumption. increases because the output increases, okay? So the consumption rises because the output rises. Investment increases because output increases and the interest rate decreases. So the new equilibrium value will be, again, we are using this kind of equation M over P, 2 times 1040, 8000 times 0.03, this is 1840. And a couple of others, number F, okay, return to the initial situation. Summarize the effect. Okay, at the initial interest rate of 5%, Y will be 1,300. We have the increase in government spending, so we recalculate, and the Y equals 1300. A fiscal expansion increases output. Consumption increases because the output just increased. And when the central bank keeps interest rates at 5%, then investment increases as output increases. So there will be the new level of investment and the new level of consumption and the new level, of course, of the real money supply. New level of investment is 425. New level of consumption is 475. And the new level of real money supply, again, this is 2200. The last one, we still have 5 minutes. The last one, money market equilibrium. This is given over here, money market equilibrium. 1,600 equals 2y minus 8,000i. Okay, and there's the goods market equilibrium. So we start with the goods market equilibrium. We implement the values. Y equals to 200 plus 0.25 y minus 200 plus 150 plus 0.25 y minus 1000i. So we implement these values plus 400. Okay, and then we have to solve government spending equal to 250. So given that we have the interest rate of 0.1 and output level is 350. Okay, so this is what we could calculate here. All right. So any questions here? Okay. So we have to reconnect. I'll stop this conference and this conference, and then you reconnect. I think we will be able to once again have this meeting for 40 minutes. If something goes wrong, then I will then publish the other videos. Okay. So now we reconnect.